game from the Team 45 League at ICC. We have the perk defense. This is a little unique. It's definitely playable. It could transpose into the main line. White will play bishop d3, for instance, in the Austrian attack, but usually not until, let's see, he usually plays this, this, and this first. So what that make about move 6. Okay. Not much happening here. Now, here, in a way, this move doesn't make sense, you know, because you want to be playing this Austrian attack. But anyway. Now, probably the best choice for white is to just castle it. Let's develop something. Let him take. Don't push by. That just helps make this bishop a horrible piece. And suddenly this knight gets in the game. Okay, well, yeah, this wasn't necessary. The pawn was already defended. You're also taking away a good square from the knight. Let's just castle here. You know, black wants to take this, fine, you know. You know, he can come up here, or he can come up here, so what? You know, we've chosen to put this bishop on a bad square, so just keep developing if he wants to take it. You know, white just has this huge lead in development. See, white got 2 pieces out, his queen, he's castled. Black is sitting back here. You know, he's got his 2 bishops, but white's looking pretty good here. So, you know, c3, you know, white doesn't get much of a lead in development here. Okay, now he castles. Now here, this move is totally unnecessary, and it's just a flat-out mistake. See, you know, I see, I'm going to keep bringing it up, I see a predominance of these rook pawn moves on the internet. I call it the internet defense. All the years of playing tournament chess, very, very few people push their rook pawns up at this early in the game. See, best I can determine, I call it the internet defense because it seems to be invented by tens of thousands of people on the internet. No grandmaster, no chess book recommends pushing these pawns up at an early stage. Now, there's some positions where you do it. It has to do when white has pressure on f6 or on d5. In other words, a bishop here and a knight coming into d5. So best I can figure, players are shoving these rook pawns up to prevent bishops and knights from coming to these squares. Bishops pin knights. Knights deliver forks. So by pushing that pawn up, they never have to worry about it. But here, there's no way, shape, or form that this move helps black's position. You know, we've got 3 guys here that have to get in the game. If you don't bring them in, they're going to come to the battle too late. So what would be a good move here? Well, you could move this pawn so the queen can come out. Okay, usually black does that in this type of position. Okay, you could plant this rook here with a melee, you know, maybe sometime coming here, although you're unprotecting this square, so you can open up this diagonal. Okay, h6 does not help black's game. If you're pushing your rook pawns up, stop. It'll make your game so much better. You don't need these moves. Here we go. So it makes no sense. None whatsoever. Maybe white wants to put his bishop here, and he's afraid of this. Well, so what? Let him come there. We don't even know if black wants to do this move. Let's just protect it. Well, it's already protected by the rook. Let's just develop something. If he wants to take it, so what? Once again, look at the lead and development white has. All 3 minors out. The queen's ready to go. You know, black's still sitting here with nothing going. So, you know, this move does not help white. The other point I'd like to make is the time on the clock. They're both moving kind of quick. You know, hopefully, I've been seeing as the ratings go up, they're using more time, but you got to take your time in these games. I see at the lower levels, I see rating levels. I see people finishing the game with more time than they started, and then they lose the game. Gee, I wonder why. You got to take your time. Okay, so I also see people that push the rook pawns up. I see this knight maneuver a lot. And you don't see this in Grandmaster games because they're not pushing the rook pawns up. Just kind of unnatural. So white should just put this bishop on e3. Let black take. You know, that knight would have moved 1, 2, 3, 4 times to take a piece that had moved once. Okay, so this makes sense. Get the knight into play. Eyeball this square.
Check.
Okay, so now black is developing white's queen. White is not making this queen capture. White did not make that move. As much as you disagree with me, black did. Black has moved white's queen to that square because queen's not going to that square unless black helps. I'll give you an example. Say he comes back here. How is white going to get this queen to this square? Well, first he has to move his knight somewhere. Maybe over here. Then he can put his queen there. So this helps white's development. Okay, the white's they both have 2 minors out. They both developed their queen. I'm sorry, they both developed a rook. But black has not developed his queen, and she's kind of trapped. See, the back ranks are close to a match except for the queens. So white has a little more breathing room here. White's ready to plant this knight in here, and then because of this rook pawn push, all kinds of sacrifices are possible down in this position. Let's see what happens. Okay, he really loves putting pieces on that square. Okay, so let's just ignore that and play knight f5. Very good. I guess he loves this square. Okay, white to play. What would I do here? One thing I would want to do is I would want to put this bishop on this diagonal. Points at the king. Pins this pawn. You know, we can maybe occupy g6 at some point. That's one thing I would certainly do. I might be tempted. Here's an idea. Let's push this pawn. What's that do, you say? Well, what if he takes? Well, now I'm going to play. Let's see. Maybe I'm not going to play this. Let's see. He takes. I take. Well, I am threatening to take down here. Let's see. So black needs to move his king, probably. Let's park it here. Go this way. We have g6 check. Now, let's see. We could swing the rook up with the idea of bringing it over. We can go attack this pawn. I want that bishop on that square. Now he can't play f6 because the bishop drops. So let's see. If he plays queen e7, the queen is overworked defending 2 squares. So if we want, we can just go get our pawn back. Let's see. Maybe he gets this one. But you know, white has some definite attacking chances here. Let's see. Now we don't have to play bishop takes f7. I'm just trying to point it out. Let's see. Let's do this. Hit that pawn again. Now maybe he has to bring the king back. And here, what was it? Well, I can't play queen here. Let's kick that bishop. Okay, I'm going to go back there. Let's pile up on that pinned pawn. I mean, you know, white certainly got some ways to attack, and black has to defend this carefully. I mean, just analyzing just some possibilities. Okay, goes here. Now the bishop is pinned because of the mate threat. Now this could be a threat, and if bishop back, we can collect that with check, and then go collect that pawn. Okay, now let's see. I wish this bishop was on this square, because then we could do some stuff. I'm looking at ways to try to throw this in. Let me show you what I'm close to getting what I want. See, the first point is if he takes here, let's see. I don't quite have what I want. Let's see. I can also take here. Well, that's one of the reasons I want this bishop on this square, so that I can come down and take this. Anyway, let's back it up. See what white does. Okay, it finally develops the bishop. Okay, so I don't know why black's neglecting this bishop, but he is. Now, why doesn't black take back? What am I missing here? I don't think I'm missing anything. I think black should take back. Is he creating some kind of threat? Okay, let's see. He's just dropping a piece here. And white's won a piece. Could have been a mouse slip. But white's a piece ahead, so it should be a decisive advantage. And they're both taking their time, I'm happy to report. White's piling up on that e5 pawn. Now let's get the bishop over here on a nice diagonal. Very good. Now let's double rooks. Try to come down here. I didn't have to back up. What is wrong with this? Okay, if he goes here, exchanges could break white's attack, but they also simplify. Let's see. Let's just go here. Now, if black takes, see, we're close to getting a checkmate. See, one of the rules of thumb when you're up like a piece or a piece for a couple pawns or the exchange, we know if we trade down to an ending, we win. But let's go for the enemy king first. If we can get a checkmate, we end the game. And here, this variation, it looks like black has walked into checkmate. You know, maybe you can delay it a little bit with this, but you know, we have to like white's chances for a quick win anyway. So how did I go about this? Well, we went after the king, which he did. But now I don't quite understand coming back here when we can double. Now, what if he wants to play here? Okay, well, let's see. Let's come down there. Let's suppose he takes. Now let's see. Let's take with the queen. Now white's down the exchange. But let's see. Black gets a little play, but not too much. You know, rook check followed by rook discovery looks pretty deadly. I don't know. Maybe black is surviving this. Let's see. Maybe we have to take the queen. Take the queen first. Now take here. Now white has a queen and bishop for the two rooks, and you know the light squares around the black king look kind of fuzzy. Let's see, c6 to stop queen here, but we just go queen here, and you know black's in trouble again. So let's see. Black needs his rooks working together, and you know they can't really work together.
Check.
I don't think the check goes anywhere. You know, this and this are both serious threats. So, you know, white's close to a checkmate here, I think. But, you know, coming back, I don't know, it's okay. It's a playable move. You know, when you're a piece up, You know, you can pretty much win the way you want, but try to win efficiently. Okay, what's he trying to do? Chase that bishop out. Well, not really chasing it out. We can go plant it down here. He does that now. He could have waited a move. Could have doubled his rooks first. And then played there. You know, let black spend a move doing this, okay? That's what it looks like he wants to do. Now he gets doubled on the file. Now we still want to try to get a mate down here, so okay, we can set up a mate in 3 here. This does it too. Ideas here and here. That stops the queen from coming in. Trying to find a mate. I don't see it. A mating idea. We're going to come back where the queen can get in. It's just after a pawn. Now I think he runs out of counterplay if you just take.
Check.
I just put the king in the corner and everything should be fine. Might as well take this, open up a diagonal. Okay, so how do we want to do this? I like this. Now threatens to win the exchange or give a check there. Okay, this makes sense too. There's growing pressure down here. Now the bishop's loose and the check is stopped. So let's just anchor it in. Okay, he wants to come around this way. I don't know if that's going to get it done. He stops that. Okay. Well, we have this check now.
Check.
Like, well, here, let's check with the bishop. Let's go for the
Check.
mate. See, if the king comes back, there is another check for what it's worth. Okay, and this very well could lead to mate. The king has to back up again.
Check.
Now maybe we're not getting any closer. Okay, yeah, train queens is fine, but he's done it in such a way that black picked up a nice passed pawn. So white still has some work to do here. Looks like black's getting some counterplay. Okay, gonna take twice on h3.
Check.
And black's back in business. This is why you want to go for mate. So good job fighting back by black. Now this guy is pinned. But black doesn't have enough. His 2 pawns will be stopped by the bishop alone. But he's got a nice active king.
Check.
Now let's see. Just wondering if we just check a little while. No, you can't check on d3. You got to move those pawns at some point.
Check. Check. Check.
Okay, that king's getting active. White better wrap this up here. Here comes a check, followed by getting this up here. Mate, no, not quite. Let's see. White's hold on. Keep holding back just barely here.
Check.
Now this pawn is loose if it runs. Let's just drive the king out of there.
Check.
And here comes the pawn. And white's barely winning this. Yeah, let's see if he does advance the pawn. Wow, what a turnaround. Let's see. Check.
Check.
We can play here. Now this is threatening the queen. So now white's probably losing if this happens. Wow, this is crazy. Let's see. He played this. It doesn't make sense. Let's do this. But we're gonna go this way. Black is close to a draw here. I mean, he could. Let's see. I hate to be defensive. You know, a lot of times when the pawns are on one side of the board, the position does become drawn. Okay, and but the black king is cut off. So, you know, one idea is sacrifice the pawn, and then just try to hold on. But you know, white definitely has the advantage, but I don't know if it's enough to win. So let's see what he has in mind here. I think he was trying to stop this check, but this move stops this check too.
Check.
Because this pawn is threatening the queen, you have to take it. Okay, see what happens. Now you need to check here.
Check.
You probably need to push. Just taking it slow here. Those pawns are dangerous. Wow.
Check.
I managed to get one of them. Time to, well, look at this. Answer by this, and then here. You know, black's okay here. Let's see. Now this is a nightmare for white. He sacks. And he's going to try and get something on with his pawns. I wouldn't be surprised if black drew this, but he's going to have a little bit of work. He's tied down to defending that pawn. Now, that's not the right way. That just drops the pawn. You know, you have to come over this way. Now, in a way, white's tied down to stopping this pawn. So, you know, if he takes the rook off to get behind the pawn, let's see. He's also threatening a check here, but no, that's okay. Let's come back. Check.
Check.
See, now this is a threat. And if back, we have check.
Check.
Okay, and then white's fighting for a draw here.
Check.
You know, it's probably a win for black because white has to shove two pawns up to go anywhere. But black should not lose. So this move, you know, just drops the pawn, and that's the game. And yeah, you can go here too. See, he just says, "Go ahead, take me." Now he comes back, and those pawns are getting farther. Now he finds the right move, but those pawns are more dangerous. Now he wants to go behind the one pawn, but if both these pawns get to the 6th rank, it's all over. Oh, that was white. Well, let's see. Rook check, counterattack the rook, take the rook, take the rook. White wins. Going here just allows this. But let's see, what's this? Here, check.
Check.
Now, he's just gonna, you know, white wins. Those pawns force their way through. Okay, so we grab that. One pawn to go. The threat is to go here.
Check.
He goes behind the pawn, but that's going to let this come back and this come back. So you have to go back here now. Very good. Now it's time to get the king back. Very good. Gotta go here. Now he's cutting the king can't come here. So this is the time to go here. Now he's got the king cut off. So here, one of the methods of drawing in a rook ending like this is you're keeping your rook along this rank until the pawn gets down here. Then you put it on the back rank for checking purposes. So here I think rook a1 is the best drawing chance. Very good. Now, if the point is if the pawn moves, we start checking. But white still may be okay here. Let's see. Now you definitely want to check.
Check.
Okay, so it looks like he's going to try to go in front of the pawn.
Check. Check.
And now he kicks him out. Now white's trying to build the bridge.
Check. Check.
Now, it's too early to build the bridge here. Now black draws, I think. Let's see.
Check.
Let's see. What's it say here? Black resigned. Okay, I guess maybe he is losing this. Let's see. No, he's not. Let's see. What if he plays here? Maybe should have gone there the first move. This is interesting. We'll evaluate this in a moment. Now he goes here. Okay, so let's back this up. I mean, it's natural to want to come here, but let's try this move. Now we lose this. Amazing. It seemed like the black king was close enough that white couldn't do this. Let's see. Let me back this up just a wee bit. Okay, let's see. Here, here. Nice. Now it's time to go to the back rank.
Check. Check.
So let's see. Let's stop the check. Now if the king goes this way,
Check.
let's stop the check. Now it could get dangerous here. Let's see. Rook here. No, I don't want to go that far. Let's go here. Okay, let's see. Rook over this way. That lets the king get closer. But I think let's not go there. Let's go here. Now we're threatening a queen. Let's see. We have to start checking him and come back and hold here. So, you know, these are intricate intricate things. Sometimes I forget the basic rules of these rook and pawn endings. My gut feeling is that black held a draw here. We're going to cheat here. Rook endings by Gregory Levenfish and Vasily Smyslov. And that's a knight pawn. Okay. Look for knight pawns here. There's some tricks in here like the short side and oh, he's ending with a short. Here's the knight pawn. Now, a similar position as white is winning this with the king cut off. They give an example position. This pawn here, the king here, this king up here, this rook back here, and this rook down there, and white wins. And the explanation here is, in diagram 52, the pawn has reached the fifth rank and black cannot prevent the maneuver. King here in front of the pawn, and eventually, the king will waggle back and forth, triangulate or something, so that the pawn can go up, and then black wins. I'm sorry, white wins. If the king were in that position, if the king were back, if the black king were back one square, black could trade rooks and get into a drawn rook and pawn ending. So that was a very intricate ending. But the thing I have to remind everybody of is that we don't want to let our opponent back in the game. Let's see. Where did the queens get traded? They got traded way back in move 38. We're at 81, so back 86 half moves. Oops, back 86. Okay, so here white got his queen trade. We know
Check.
that we trade queens, we're going to win. But what happened was suddenly black got some monster pawns, and white missed that this is a threat. See, he came over here and walked into that. So one of here his, let's see, his clock goes up 22 seconds. White only spent 23 seconds on this move. If he takes his time, he'll see this as a threat and play this, and black doesn't get the creative juices going, because black played well there. A little few inaccuracies. I think black was drawing at some point, and you don't want to have to give up a draw in a position like this. So let's come back
Check.
to my move. Okay. Now the king has to get a check. He can't do this. Well, he can, but he's just going to be in a world of hurt after this. This rook is on the queen, and it's going to give discovery or double or something. It's a disaster. So black has to move the king. Okay, where are you going to put it? We have 3 squares to choose from, and let's just pick one. Well, here, let's go threaten mate. Okay, this is a mate threat. The rook can't come over to defend it because that's a mate.
Checkmate.
Only enlarge the board. That's a mate. So black has to trade queens here. But now the difference is his pawns didn't get separated or reconnected, and the sting is out of this move. This is just a routine win for white. He's up an extra piece. So white. Let's see.
Check.
White saw the opportunity for a queen trade and figured he would win and didn't plan for the future. So that's why I say play for mate. Okay. Oops, back. Play for mate. Now,
check.
On this, let's see. What if he goes back? Well, as I was saying, we have some checks here.
Check.
Now, you want to come back? That's fine. Now, this bishop is loose. Well, if we want, we can just go here. We're back in the same situation. Okay, or we can keep trying to play for mate. Let's see, how do we do that? Let's plant the bishop here. Okay, now, we've got this rook tied down to defending this. And as long as our back rank is secure and we don't walk into perpetual check, white's got some good practical chances here. Or let's see, what else could we do? This should suffice too. And if he comes back, you don't want to trade queens and connect his pawns. Let's
check.
Let's play for mate this way. Now he has to come back, and this is bound to lead.
Check.
If it doesn't lead to mate, it'll lead to the win of the black queen. Okay, so we want to be economical, and don't just go trade queens and it's all over, and think later. So the next step, I went through it. I think it's
check.
To hammer the point home. Once he missed this,
check,
and he saves his pawn. He saves that.
Check.
You've got to play to stop those pawns. They got too dangerous. Okay. And now unfortunately he had to get out of a pin, but did black gain too much time when he had to get out of that pin? Let's see. Could white have done better here? If he comes here, there's a check, and that king's coming in.
Check.
And here, one way, let's see, let's try this move. Okay. Now, if you push this too early,
check.
This comes back. Now white could probably sacrifice.
Check.
And my suspicion here is that white will win this relatively easily. So black can't push that pawn. Okay, so he's got to come back here. Now we've got the black rook tied down. The king is tied down. We've got a pawn majority. Let's use it. Let's play here. Okay. Now, eventually, what can black do here? He can shuffle his king around, right? This check probably doesn't work out. Let's
check.
Try it.
Check.
This is getting dangerous for black. He's about to lose all his pawns, and here comes our pat. We finally get our pass pawn. One way or the other, we're going to get it, and this pawn just marches right up the board. It's just another idea, but clearly, that G4 move that white missed really affected him.
Check.
Let's come back again.
Check. Check. Check.
Yeah, so here, like King F3, he definitely had to do this move. And, black can even maybe be thinking about playing for a win. See, I've already said this move
Check.
fails. The rook is under attack. The pawn is ready to queen. So the only way to stop the pawn from queening is to lose the exchange. And this pawn will be decisive. So e3 forces white to just take it. Now, let's see. No. If anything, we can just come back and do this. And now this king is going to go after the rook. And, if the rook runs away laterally, suddenly this pawn becomes a huge problem for white. So this guaranteed black at least a draw. I don't know what happened, why he did it. How long did he take on
Check.
let's see. Well, his clock went down. Wait, I missed it. His clock went down 1 minute and 20 seconds. So he consumed over 2 minutes. Okay, he took his time. Like I've said, if you take your time, your minimum time, I'll never, at least with my students that I'm working with directly about taking their time, I never criticize them if they play a bad move because they took their time. But it also baits the question. Black knew he was getting kicked around this whole game, and he blundered a piece, and suddenly, Black is about ready to queen a pawn. You have to feel good that you're close. Sometimes you have to know that you have plenty of time on the clock. Let's just take it all. Take another 5 minutes. Black wouldn't have suffered. Let's look at the final position, the time on the clock. Well, he did take some more time. Okay, so Black did a great job on his time. I'm not going to fault on that. I'm just saying in that particular instance, it would have been useful maybe if whatever reason he rejected e2 because it's such a natural move to play. Let's see, it's back again, back 56. This is such a natural move to play because this threatens to queen. And, Black felt it necessary to put his king here. So my thinking is that he thought if he pushed that, he's going to lose this pawn. Say, let me enlarge this again. Maybe he sees this check.
Check.
And he doesn't see he's attacking the rook. And he figures, I've lost this pawn, and then he's stopping this one too. Well, no, you're not. Okay, this is a queen. Okay, it's kind of nifty. So, well, let's see. Well, no. Maybe Black won't win, but he certainly won't lose. Who has the winning chances here? Black does. I mean, it's probably a draw, but White has to prove it now. So, like I say, I think he just didn't realize that King E3 would, in response to this check, was a killer. Now, I could be blind. I miss things. You come back here. Let's see. Did I cover this line? I guess you have to defend that. But White can't get his king closer. And White can't liquidate on E2 either because that F-pawn becomes a pain. So how does White improve his position here? Let's try moving pawns. Okay, I'll bite. I'll take. But I'm going to push this. And I'm going to push this. And here come the white pawns, all right. But now let's see. How do I want to go next? Where do I want to go next? So I'll go here. Now my idea is to play this. Okay, push another pawn. Here it comes. And black is getting a queen. So, black wins in some of these variations. you know, it's not easy here. Okay, that was a very interesting game. I want to bring up another one here in a moment.